what we have discussed yesterday, and also we'll see today's agenda, what we'll be learning on. So before that, anyone practiced yesterday's lab?
Yes, Harish, actually, copying library files and executing SQL thing in Java is, I tried that, but couldn't able to succeed, Harish.
Okay. After the meeting, you can share your screen and we'll see what is blocking you.
Yeah, sure, Harish.
Any others who tried that?
I just did the table update, Harish. I did not get time to do that library thing and adding it to the path.
Okay. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Divya,
I'll
Bal,
try and I'll let you know.
sure, Amik. Uday,
Yeah.
Niranjan, Preeti.
I was just working on this SQL tables. That's it.
Okay, so
Same thing
you
with
have
me.
completed
Yeah,
SQL one.
I'll be working on it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, Uday.
Same thing with me. Well, I was started with the table, but I was been having some other time. I was doing some job today, so
Okay,
I will finish it by today and I'll get back to you.
fine. How about you, Balu?
I only joined the call today. I might look at the previous videos.
Yeah, sure, Guru. I was checking up with Balu. If he has,
Yeah,
see, if you guys are attending the classes and if you're not doing assignments, there is no point you guys attending these classes. It's waste of time for both you and me. So I see. I'm not taking any finance related things. All I'm trying to do here is trying to give a career build up for each and everyone who are there in this call. So all of a sudden, once the training, you if you're not concentrating on the assignments, daily classes, if you ask me to do one more batch only for you, I can't do that. So I have already done multiple batches. So if you guys are not serious about this, then I can't help you anywhere. So I'm telling for the people who are attending this for second time or third time. And this is the final class which I'm going to tell. All this I'm doing only just for the sake of friendship. Okay. So I'm not going to continue these classes further again and again, even if you are in, the resource crunching or if you are in job search. I'm not going to help if you are not doing this assignment seriously. Okay. Let's get back to the class. Hmm, let me share my screen. So yesterday was the day for class in core Java. Sorry, Guru, you are joining only today, right? So I'll give quick background.
yeah,
What is this training course and what we are trying to do here? So earlier
sure.
we have done a batch in last year, Guru. So I've given all of these resources to refine that batch for manual testing and functional testing videos. So post functional testing, there were core Java videos which were not clear. It was taken by a different trainer. So the reason behind of this training is to enable the core Java skills which is required for an automation tester to successfully perform and for example, not just writing the Selenium test scripts, he should also have the understanding of developing the test automation framework. That's the main agenda. The reason
Yeah,
why I'm going in depth for core Java this in this training time is just for the sake of there is no market for functional testers or manual testers in the market today, given the market conditions are very weak. That's the reason adding up the skill like core Java and Selenium and mobile testing and APM. So API testing. So this adding additional up of these skills is the main primary goal of the training, Guru. So it's like the training is more focused to functional and foundational building of a automation tester, strong, not like automation tester. It's like SDET, software development engineer in test environment. So after this currently we are in the core Java phase. This core Java will have approximately 8 to 9 classes, where we focused on classes, objects, variables, data types, packages, statics, basic keywords of core Java, and the connection with MySQL database, servers, and writing up the files, reading the files, and collections in Java. So this is what, and methods in Java. This is what I'll be covering in core Java, which is really essential for building the framework. Okay, so that's 8 to 9 days of course will be there for core Java. So that's so as part of that, so 4 classes have been done so far, and prior to that, I've taken one MySQL. This video contains how to install the MySQL server and how to install Workbench, how to create schema, tables, and perform the CRUD operations over there. So the fourth class is today. First, we have given how to install Java, Eclipse, first project. Second class, variables, methods, data types. Pojo classes, objects, how to create object of a class, and stream readers. And yesterday we have seen how to connect with database and read the database records. So this is till here we have completed. Today's class will proceed forward.
Oh, great, Harish. Yeah, I think, like you say always, Harish, without the fundamental programming language, we can't do automation, right? So,
Yeah. So meanwhile, see, all of them are ready with functional testing, so they'll be parallelly looking out for their. If they're already in jobs, they look in the current project for additional, the roles, or if they are looking for jobs, they can look for manual testing. Parallelly, they will be learning this automation course for the period of 10 to 20 days. That's the idea.
absolutely. Yeah.
Okay,
Sure.
and for everyone, so just to introduce Guru is my leader. Like he's like my manager in my workplace earlier. So it's like he's like a mentor for me in Australia.
I think I don't have to tell anything about Harish because he's actually he's one of the best candidates that I have coached with. So.
Okay. So coming to the program, to today's agenda. So like yesterday, what we have seen. So we have created MySQL database, created schema in MySQL. So what schema we have created? We have created a schema for school, right? So let me bring up that MySQL. So this is the schema. So how to create schema? So if you go here and click on the plus button, you will have option to create new schema, give the schema name and execute it. Or if you want to manually write the SQL query, so here are the queries. So creation of schema. So the SQL query for creating schema is create schema and schema name. And once you create the schema, then we need to create a table, right? So let me open our application. So this is what we are going to build by end of our core Java class, right? So the school application we'll be building upon. So if you see here, give me a sec. So under school application, there are multiple models which will be coming inside the school. So they are nothing but the teacher, students, departments, sports, subjects, and coaches. So here we have the schema for school now. So we consider every model here as a table, one individual table, and the attributes of each model will be considered as columns. So that's what we have done for teacher. So I have done example for teacher, and I showed how to create a teacher table for you. And as a part of assignment, what we have given yesterday, so you need to create the other pending tables in MySQL school schema with the appropriate columns. Like I have created for teacher, so you guys need to create for school students, sports subjects, etc. How many of you have done that?
Harish, yeah, that's what I told. I was in teacher itself. I was trying that, but couldn't able to connect with Java. Harish.
No, not Java. So in the SQL itself, you need to create all the tables, right?
Yeah, I'll do it, Harish, today.
Okay.
All the things.
So any others who has completed all?
This part, yeah, this part I have done, Harish, but that connecting with Java, I mean, I did not get time, so I
Okay.
could not do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So try to complete this one, MySQL. So creating up all the tables in the MySQL database by EOD. Okay.
The tables I have created.
Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure.
Okay.
For
Today
others.
we'll do that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so next one, we create a school schema, we created tables, then we have performed CRUD operations. You know what is CRUD, right? C means create, R means read, update, and delete. So here what we have done in create operation, so we created a table, we created a schema, we created a table. Then we have read the table, read is nothing but select operation. And then we have also performed other queries like so this is the creation of table, insertion of a record. So insert into table, and you can give the column names and you can give the values. This is one way of indexing the values for insert. The another way is without providing any column names, you can directly inject the values. Insert into teacher values, and you provide the values. So if you want to understand more better, refer to yesterday's class video and read the records in table. So if you want to read the records, so select star. If you provide star, it will select all the columns. Or if you want only particular columns, one or two, you select only the column names from teacher. And if you want to put condition, you put conditions. Otherwise, it will return all the records which are available in the particular table. And updating the table records, like update a table, set the particular value. For example, yesterday we have set the last name of a particular teacher. And deleting, same, we use delete teacher, and we provide what is the row that needs to be deleted in the where condition. So these are the basic CRUD operations. Create we have done, read we have done, update, delete, and insert operations. So these are the CRUD operations in SQL. Then what is our next agenda yesterday? So we wanted to connect this database. We want to connect this database to Java code. So for that, we have seen what is the need and necessity, why we want to connect, right? So we took example of comparing up Amazon products. So, for example, in database you have 100,000 products in Amazon. You want to see whether in the Amazon.com web portal whether all those 100,000 products are displayed to the end users or not. So manually if you want to perform, it takes months and lot of resources, right? So what we have done, so we have downloaded. So we'll write a Java code to read all the records which are there in database and write to Excel sheet. And here we'll write a Selenium code to read all the products which are available and write into a different Excel sheet compared to Excel sheets. This one way of doing the comparison or doing the testing whether the products which are there in database is also available in portal or not. So we also discussed what are the advantages of doing that. So now everyone know how to connect with MySQL to Workbench. Now we wrote yesterday simple Java program, and we followed 4 to 5 steps to establish a connection to MySQL server. Correct. So this Java program we have seen. Now let me open what Java program we wrote yesterday. So we created a package com.sac9.school.db. Under that we created a class MySQL connection. Okay. So the class contains simple main method. The class contains simple main method and 4 to 5 lines of code to connect to database. So I explained each line yesterday, right? So for example, why we need to download MySQL connector jar file. So why this jar file is required? This jar file acts as a medium between Java code and the MySQL server to receive the commands and send to MySQL, get the result set back and send it in the format of Java code. So that MySQL connector will be used here to connect here. And so we have 4 lines of code. One is you need to establish a connection interface. Then you need to initialize the driver instance, uh, take into the statement record, and whatever the statement is used to execute queries. The executed queries will come into result set. You need to print this result set, and you need to close the database connection. So this is what we have done yesterday. So first step is initialize which driver you are using. We are using MySQL driver. So this is the uh, driver instance parsing. This is the driver instance which has been there. So what is the next step? The next step is creating a connection from to the database. So creation of connection. So creation of connection. So this is a connection interface which is there in Java SQL package, and we have a driver manager over here. So this driver manager will get the connection here. So what exactly we are passing there? Sorry, give me a second.
Hari,
Yeah, Ambika.
yeah, Hari, sorry to interrupt. Harish, yesterday after copying this code from Google, you were getting some errors and you did some try catch or something.
Yeah. I'll explain
Yeah,
then.
can you explain that? Yeah, because I was not bit clear with that part.
Okay. So this is the code
Yeah.
which is required for uh, to connect to make a connection establishment. First errors why we got is because we didn't import anything. So this is how we copied a code. So let me save that one. So there is error here, right? Connection. Why? Because this connection class is not imported here. So first thing, go here, click on import connection. The package should be SQL package. So perform that and go to the driver manager, SQL package, perform. Similarly, import the statement also and import the result set. Now all the imports are done, but still you have an error, right? So if you go, it is recommending to put declaration or surround with try catch. So what we are doing here, so in Java there is a concept called exception handling. Okay, so what is that concept all about is, one second. So so the concept of exception handling is like, so for example, you write some code here. So for example, int a equal to 100, int b equal to 10. So I want the result of a by b, a divided by b. Okay, so what would be the result if you print out? So this is the program. So the result would be 10. 100 by 10. A is 100, b is 10. If you divide a by b, 100 times 10 is 10. Correct? So for example, dynamically, if the user will pass, he pass instead of 10, he pass 0. He pass 0. So for example, let's take calculator. Okay, first let's do our own example. Sorry, 100 by divided by 10. So the answer is 10. So for example, the program will get 100 divided by 0. Cannot divide by 0. So this is an exception, right? See, if you are hard coding the values, you can't divide 100 by 0. At least minimum number 1 should be there. You know that. But this program will not know that, right? when such kind of issues will come, so we will use a concept in Java called exception handling. Exception handling. So, so as assignment, kindly read this one because this is also important. People will start asking questions here. Read about exception handling in Java. So here you read about checked exceptions and unchecked exceptions and runtime errors. So it will not take more than 15 minutes of your time to read this one. So first theoretically you read it, practically when you are working you will get an experience. Okay, so now, okay, you think that this code might get some error. Okay, this code might get some error. So all those kinds of codes, what you will do is you will put in a try block. Try writing this, executing this code. Suppose if you get any error, you will write in a catch block, and you write what kind of exception. So here I'll get arithmetic exception. So because we are performing arithmetic operation, right? So you get arithmetic exception. And the object of that is this one, and you write a catch block. Okay, so try, catch, and throws. So these are the things which will come. So for example, you have written this statements which will go into error or might not go into error in try block. Suppose if the exception come, it will catch this one. So the catch block will catch the exception. Then you do some operation. Then you say that so you can write a message to the user. Sorry, you can't divide. Sorry, the system ran into arithmetic exception. One second. Or see, this is how it will be like so whatever the statements. So I'm giving one simple example for arithmetic. Like that, I'll give 2-3 examples. Then you will have a better idea. The first example is like, so you can't divide 100 by 0. So randomly we will pass the variable values, right? Suppose if 0 will come to a divisor, then it will be a problem. So that's why what we do. So if you think the code what you wrote might go into exceptions or errors, just put in a try block. So then in the catch you handle that one, and for system. So for example, if in Java code, let me go here. So let me comment this one first. System. So if I directly do 100 by 0 and print and execute this one, so you can see here java.land.arithmetic exception divide by 0. So if you directly throw this one to error to the end user, it won't be good, right? So I'll catch this one. I'll put this one in a try block now. So try block, I'm putting the statements which will come an error, and in the catch I'll print and I'll say some general system error has gone wrong. Please check your inputs. So if you see now, this is like a friendly message to the end user, right? So if the earlier message, since you are a Java programmer, since you are a Java developer, you will understand that what is this earlier exception. But end user, if you send this kind of error messages to end user, it would be more appropriate. So that's why we are having exception handling to handle this kind of exceptions. Okay. So the another example, right? Why we need to use this try clause. So another example is like, so for example, you are writing a file here. Okay, you want to create a file here. So I'll not write the Java code. Okay, create a file and write some data to file. So when you are creating a file, okay, so if I want to give C drive in my personal laptop, it will create. But all of a sudden, the file path while creating the if the file path is read only, if the file path or the directory or the folder is read only access, then you can't create the file itself there, right? If you can't create the file, you can't write the data to file, then it will be an error, right? So that's why you need to put those kind of failure statements into the try block, and then you need to handle that in the catch block here. File not found exception or something like that, so you can handle that exception and give the appropriate error to the user. Let me take a pause, and do you guys understand? So now here, what is our use to create? So our use to create an exception handling here is, so we have a code which will connect to my what is that, MySQL server. But if the server itself is not installed in my machine, the server itself is not installed in my machine, it will throw an error, right? That's why it is asking put in a try catch block, whether you connect to the server or not, it's secondary. There is a chances of failure. So we are asking for get connection. The connection only will not establish, or if the local host is not working, or if the schema is not available, or if the username is wrong, or if the password is wrong, or if the connection statement is not established, or if the query is, multiple options of failures are there here. That's why we will put all these statements into a try catch block. Okay, so you can manually write here try, open bracket, close the bracket, and you write catch block here. See, exception is the, one second. So this exception is here, whatever I wrote here, right? Java.lang.exception. This class is the top class of a exception handler. So if you write this exception, it will handle any kind of exception. So I don't know what exception I'll get. It might be an SQL exception, it might be an connection exception, or it might be an statement exception, or it might be an query not correct exception, right? So I don't know what exception I'll get. So that's why I will write exception here. So this exception can handle any kind of exceptions. So then here, so I write here e dot get message. It shows what error exception message it is. Suppose if you want to print the stack trace, e dot print stack trace. E dot print stack trace is nothing but all of you have seen before. Even yesterday also we have seen that. So let me remove this one. One second. So let me execute this. So if you see here, e dot, let me print the stack trace. Just give me a second. Okay. So you are seeing all the red colors kind of things, right? Even though you got what are the records available in database, but you have seen lot of red color error and all. So this is called as stack trace. What is this called? Very important, guys. This is called as stack trace. So stack trace means it will give a detailed report of which class exception is coming, which class it is referring, the reference class, its reference class, its reference class. So here, SAC9 school DB MySQL connection main in the main method. So in the line number 24, we are getting exception. So while closing the connection, we are getting the exception. What is the exception about? We are having an SQL connection without server identifying verification. So as I told yesterday, so this is because of related to uh, MySQL. I mean the SQL enablement. So what I will do? So here I will write. I'll pass an argument. Use SSL to false. So if I use this one, I will not have any those. I have disabled like SSL now when I do database connection establishment. Now you don't have any errors. Okay. So let me repeat it again. I know it's a bit confusing. So why we are using try catch block is the question asked by Ambika, which is a very good valid question. So because we don't know whether the connection will be successfully established or not. For example, so I will give the host name wrong and the port number wrong. Now let's see what errors we'll get. See here. JDBC exceptions, communication link failure. The driver has not received any packets from the server, which means the driver which is sitting here, what we wrote here, right? The connector, it is not receiving any packets. Why? Because the connection communication links has been failed. Why? Because we wrote here the mission number and port name is wrong. That's why the secured connection has not been established from here the Java program to the MySQL server. That's the reason the connection is not established. That's why say if you don't write if you don't put this around try catch, right? So it'll the program will have compilation. So you need to throw these exceptions somewhere. So for example, I'll handle this one and I'll say e.get message system error. Now let's see what is the difference. Now we got in a red color lot of lines errors and all, right? Lot of things, right? So if you see here now the same communication link one, I'll show in one line to the end user. So communication link failure is the message. The last packet was sent was through milliseconds ago. The driver has not received a system error. So I just wrote system error and this is the message what we got. So this is a better way of representing the error, right, to the end user. So that's why try catch block is necessary. Anyone have any questions why we are using try catch block here? Okay.
No worries. Now
No
it's clear.
worries.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, so class.for name, you know this one because we are connecting with MySQL. We wrote MySQL here. Suppose if it is Oracle, we write ODBC connection like that. Okay. So we have done this driver declaration. So next one is creation of connection. So how to create connection? So you no need to by heart this one. As I told yesterday, if you search in Google, no one will ask you to write this code on your own without giving any internet or books. Okay. So you can copy paste from Google or code. So but you should understand why each line is there. First thing is we're creating a connection to database, and the driver manager we are declared this is the class which is in the SQL which will get the connection from the server. This is the server. This is the server. From server it gets the connection. Who gets the connection? This guy, the driver manager instance will get the connection. And from which server? That is what we are going to provide here. So jdbc dot mysql, I have installed my server in my local host. This is my port number, and this is the schema I want to connect. So you are directly giving which schema I want to connect. And I don't want to use any SSL because it is throwing some errors. And what is the username? Username, while installing the MySQL server itself, you have provided it as root. And the password is root123. Okay. So these are the details which a driver manager require to get the connection. Now, statement. So you declare a statement. This statement will take the connection instance, and it will create a statement object. So this statement, why you want to create the statement object is to execute queries. So in MySQL workbench, where you executed queries? In the query editor. This is the query editor area. You executed queries here. Similarly, statement will execute queries in core Java for you. This statement will execute core Java for you. So okay, this statement will execute queries. That is the job of statement. But where? In this connection you want to execute. In this server, in this connection you want to execute. That's why we will pass the connection object to the statement object, and we will create a statement. Now the statement is created. Now statement dot, what is the job of statement? It is to execute query. It will execute query, and you can write any query. Insert query, select query, update query, delete query, whatever you want, you can write it here. Once you executed this query, once you execute this query, you will get an output, right? So here we executed one query. So here let's so select star from teacher. Okay, this is the query. I'll click run. Sorry, SQL schema name is wrong. So I'll execute this query. Select star from teacher. So what I have got, I got a table which contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns and 4 records. 4 records, 7 columns I got. So I want to store this result somewhere, right? So a result set interface is used to store your data. So whatever the data you get when you execute the statement query from database, you will store that into result set. Now, okay, you have this object, the interface object, and iterate this one. So you can iterate in using for loop, while loop, etc. So, but here, say what exactly this will contain. Now you might have some confusion here. So I have so I wanted to print this result set. You can tell me, why can't we directly print TRS? If you print TRS, what it will print? So that it will not. It's a collection of object, right? It will have some structure. The structure is like table. One second. See, the result set object is, it's a structure. It has 7 columns and 4 records. So which is very difficult for everyone, right? So the first you need to iterate while it has some value, print this row. Okay. While it has another value, print this row. While it has another value, print this row. So this is the iteration you are doing here. So here, while trs dot next means next method, say it tells, one second. So it is a boolean which will give true or false. If some value is there in the next element, it will say true. When it is true, we are printing it. Trs dot get int 1. You can ask me why you are doing get int. Why can't you do get string or get double or get thing? Because the data type in MySQL for the teacher ID, what we have done here, it is integer, int. So you are taking that into int here, get int of 1. And what is the next column name? So the next column name is trs dot get string of 2. 2 is nothing but the second column here, first name. So if you see the output here, what is printed, let me execute that. So first time when it iterated here, it printed get int 1 is one the value of teacher ID, and get string 2, column name of 2 is Harish, column name of 3 is my last name. So like that. So suppose if I want to print all the columns, so what I'll do, so I'll give plus, I'll give some space between last name and the fourth value here. Fourth value is date. So I can read it as string as well. Let me try. trs dot get string. Column index is 4. Similarly, column index 5. So if anyone have any questions, please feel free to interrupt me and ask. Column name 6. Column name 7. Okay, so let me execute this. Yeah.
Yeah, for column name 4, can we use dot get date? Something date.
Yeah, we can use dot get date, but you know, you need to use date formatter. Why? Because the SQL date and Java date would be different ones. So if you see the date get date, let's try that. So 4 and 5 is date, right? So let me put 5. If you read into string, it's easy. Whatever the date you are getting, it will read as string and it will display. But anyways, but this will be displayed as string here. Yep, it is coming as get date. So we can use get date. So this is how you read. Now you can ask me, I don't have a column names here. How can I do that? So column names you need to write here on the top. Before iterating the loop itself, you need to write to print the column names. So here, teacher ID space, first name space, last name space, DOB space, DOJ space, some address space, and subject ID. So if you write here, and first it will print all those columns, this line, and then it will iterate on the result set what we get. Okay, so teacher ID, first name, last name, DOB, DOJ, and then. So if you want a proper table, so you need to clearly give the correct space indentation here, and you need to write, so you can sort it out. So now you have seen, so you established a connection. Okay, you established a connection, and you are reading the value here, right? Suppose if you want to insert the value, yes, Ketan.
Harish, actually, in SQL, you are told that column numbering will be from 0, but how it's synced here from 1? You mentioned here from 1, 2, 3.
No, this is index. See, SQL index of from Java, right? From the result set. The result set
Okay.
index will be from 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
So the result set interface will have indexing from 1. Okay. Any questions so far, or do you want me to repeat this again? So here, what you need to understand here is, okay, we are writing a Java code to connect to MySQL server. Okay. Why we want to connect to server? SQL server to the database. So you want in the database there will be a lot of schemas. We want to connect to our school application schema, and in the teacher table we want to see how many teachers are there in the teacher table. That is the agenda for us. So in core Java, you know how to do in MySQL workbench. So in core Java, what we have done? So you created a simple Java class with a main method. So you created a connection establishment, and you passed which server it should connect, which port number, and which schema, and then you created a statement class object. You executed a query and you pass the query here. Okay, and whatever you got the result, you in the result set interface object, you have printed that by iterating the loop. So this is what we have done for connecting to MySQL from Java. So just 4 basic steps. So this, when you do it by yourself, you'll get more experience things. Like right now you assume that you understand, but when you start working on that small issues, when you're fixing and when you are able to get this output, then you will have more confidence and understanding. So right now I'm happy to answer if any questions. I'll take a pause here for a minute, and then we will see how to do other operations like insert, update, and delete. Any questions, or we can move further?
No question from my side.
Questions? No questions, Harish.
Okay.
All good, Harish.
Yeah. Cool. So let's see. Let me create one more. See, this is for select, right? In the same class, we can do for insert update also. But let me create separate class. Why? Because at the end, we will see how to remove all these three classes and write into single class in different methods. Okay. Right now, I'll create a different class for insert also. Insert operation. I'll have a main method. So what exactly I need to write in the main method? Same 4 steps which we have used. First thing is declaring the MySQL driver string, and in the for class.for name method, and then creating a connection object. I need a statement. I need a result set text. So these are the 4 lines I want, and one more line is to close the connection. We will write the close connection later. So in the main method, copy paste these 4 lines of code. Why it is coming in error? So Eclipse will tell you why it is coming. So you can see if you don't want to put try catch block, you can do that, but it's not recommended. So if you put here throws class not found exception, you will get it. But lot of errors you need to throw, like SQL exception you will get, class not found exception you will get. So if you throw, someone should catch this exception. You need to write specific class to catch those exceptions. So that's why you remove that one. Best practice is to put this in try catch block. So if you want to, if you don't know, if you are not familiar writing try catch blocks, all the syntax and all, so put all the statements like this. Select the code. Select the code like that. Right click. Right click. Where is the surround with? The option you can see here, right? Surround with. So you'll have try catch block. Okay. So use that one. So it will automatically tell what kind of exceptions it will come, and we can write this. So now I told earlier, right? Here 2 exceptions came. Class not found exception came and SQL exception came. As I told, if you write, if I can remove this SQL exception, and in the class not found exception, instead of class not found, if I write exception, exception is the main class which can handle multiple classes. So I just write exception and leave it there. Okay, so the next thing is, okay, till here we know. So now what is the operation we wanted to do? Insert operation, correct? What operation we want to do? Insert operation. So for that, what we will do? So we don't want to use this query. Okay, we don't want to use this query. So we wrote yesterday one queries, right? Let me open that query here. So this is the query. I'll take this as string insert query, insert teacher. I will say insert teacher equal to, this is the query. Okay. It is okay. So this is the query which we want to execute here. Okay, so here you want to understand one thing. Okay, so insert into teacher value, we are not giving any column names here. So if you want to give values here, you can't directly hard code like that. You can't directly hard code like that. There is a class called, this is what statement is used to execute queries. There is one more class called prepared statement. Prepared statement. prepared statement. So you need to use statement equal to new prepared statement. So I'll say prepared statement P. Okay. To be honest, I don't remember. Let's do here. Insert a record to table MySQL for Java. Okay. Give me a second. Let's see. Okay. So first what I'll do is, there are two ways to do. So one is you create these arguments one by one. Prepare statement dot set argument one and what data type and what value. Or the another way is you can directly insert all these hard coded values like that. So the first way is instead of statement, so use the prepare statement here. And so the rest all remains same. Here you use insert teacher and the result set. So here the expected one is one row will be there. So trs dot next. Okay, I'll use while. So let's directly print the result statement and see what will. So what exactly will happen if we execute this one? So for example, instead of 5, let me change the value. And last name is okay. So these are the values that I want to insert. So let's say manually let me execute this one once here. Okay, this is the statement. Run it. So here the statement is executed successfully. Let's see. Select star from teacher. So the value has been inserted here. So let's use the same statement. Before that, let me delete this one out. So I'll use this statement now. It's working. So okay. So the reason I executed that insert statement is this is the output. One row is affected. One row is affected, and so the same row what is inserted will be returned back into result statement, result set. So let's see that. Let's execute this one and see. Statement cannot be cached. Okay. Give me a sec. connection, prepare statement, connection.connect DB, that's fine. Connect DB, what they're using, connection, just the connection. So statement, connection statement dot query is this one is fine. Query one is fine. Execute query one. Okay, so they're directly executing statement itself. Okay, which is good. Okay, instead of prepare statement, I'll give a different example for prepare statement. Let's try which statement if we can hard codedly insert this one. So prepare statement will be mainly used when you have more columns, like you have 15-20 columns. So for each column index, teacher ID, what should be there? First name, what should be there? Last name, what should be there? So if you want to do like that, you will be using that insert statement. So let me show you one simple example. Okay. Okay, I'll show you example later on. So for now, okay, data manipulations is not done with execute query. Okay, so teaching set last name equal to this one, where teacher just give me a sec. I'm okay. So definitely, I guess statement is not used for insert. See, for statement connection is okay for select ones. For insert ones, you need to use prepared statement. So I just can't really recollect. It's been ages that I worked on SQL. Let I should have been prepared. Give me a sec. Yeah. SQL queries categories. Okay, so this is the one. So first thing is DDL. So DML, DCL, other things, right? So DDL is you can create, drop, alter, and truncate. DCL means control languages, grant and revoke. DML, this is what we are doing: insert, update, and delete. So if you see here, earlier what we have done select operation, query language, DQL, which is query. So that's why you use statement. Here you need to prepare a statement before you send. Why? Because you are inserting something to database. You are inserting something to database. Even in update also, you are providing inputs, right? But here in the select query, are you providing any inputs? No, you are not providing any inputs. You are just reading the inputs. You're just reading the inputs. So here you are providing the inputs. So statement class in SQL, the statement class in SQL which we used here, it will not have capacity to hold the input in the query, to hold the input in the query. So that's why they want to prepare the statement. So that's why prepared statement interface is here in order to put these queries. I'll explain in detail how to do this one. You don't worry about this. So once we have the connection established here, right? So the connection object will be in con. So what you do here? So I'm writing a query here, string uh, update teacher, string update teacher, and what is the query? So this is the query which we tried here. Sorry, let's first focus on insert. Okay, so here I have a query, insert into teacher values. Earlier we had values, right? 7 values we have done. Now what I have done, I removed all the 7 values and I put question marks, 7 question marks. So now what I want to do is, first question mark is for the first prepared statement. Second question mark is for the second prepared statement. Like that you need to write this one. So prepared statement set, we want to set the value of this one. Set 1 equal to, so I want to put number as 6. And similarly, so second one is, second column is, it is not set string integer, right? Set string. Why? Because it is first name. Set string of 2. Index parameter is 2, and the value is, in the double quotes you need to pass the first name value. Similarly, for the third index I want to set, and I want to pass the value of last name. And fourth one, I want to set the date, right here. So set date. Date parameter is 4, and the value here is new date of, what is the value? I need to import the date class from Java util package. Constructor is new date of Java util. Okay. So did the date value is then this fifth argument is the joining date 2023, and the sixth argument is address. Address is again string, so I'll copy paste this one. Sixth argument is and the last one is integer, so I'll copy the first one. subject ID, I will put it as 1 and the index is 7. I'll tell you again in a very simple way. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to insert our insert operation. Insert operation is nothing but it comes under DML command. So if any data manipulation commands, you should use prepared statement instead of statement. So prepared statement we are declared and we pass the connection object here and we are preparing a statement and you need to pass the query. The query is this one. You can ask me in the query why you have written question marks here, because this question mark you will be preparing it here. So 1 is index of 1 here and the value of the teacher ID is 6. Second question mark is related to second prepare statement which you are doing. So here you are giving the indexing here. So similarly there are 7 question marks. So you have 7 times here. Are you clear?
Yes, Harish.
Okay. So now one prepare statement is done. So what you need to do, you need to execute this prepare statement. So for statement what we have done, we have used method execute query and we pass the query here. Now here the query is already prepared in the prepare statement itself. So prepare statement dot execute update. You just need to update. You want to execute, right? So you want to execute this update. Once you perform any update operation, what it will return. So for example, here I want to put, I'm updating the last name here. So what it is, this is the update query, right? Let me execute this one. So what is the output here? 1 second. So insert into, so let me update it again. Okay, so it's not reflecting directly here. Let's copy this and we'll execute manually. This is the query and update it here. So if you see here, 1 rows affected, 1 changed, rows matched is 1, changed is 1. So which means it returns integer. How many rows affected? 1 rows affected. So and also if you see in Java also, the result of this prepared statement is of this execute update query. Integer. See, you can read this one. Execute the SQL statements in the prepare statement object, which the SQL data manipulation language, insert, update, or delete. So what it will do, what it returns is either 1, the row count of SQL data manipulation language, or 2, or 0. So or nothing, it will not result, it will not return anything. So since it is returning integer, so I have stored that in a variable called result and I'm printing the result to see how many rows has been affected or not. So now let's see to execute this one. So before I execute, any questions here? For insert one, how to execute? Do you want me to repeat anywhere? See, simple. What we know how to create connection to database. We have created the connection. Now, what is our query? Our query is insert, which is DML command, data manipulation command. So for this command, you need to use prepared statement. You can't use the statement. So you need to use prepared statement. So prepared statement, and I created an object for prepared statement. And I have taken the connection for which connection it should go and connect and which schema. So now I wrote a query, insert into teacher values, and I have given in the arguments question marks. I have built this question marks in the below. Once this is done in the then I have executed the update, and whatever the update I'm getting, I'm storing the value in the, because it will return in the form of zeros or ones like row count, and we are printing that one here. So that is what we have done. So here what it should do, you should insert that query here. Uh, so 4, it will come 6, and the value which we built here, like Snetha, Thumb, all this. If there is no issues with date, it should go as it is. Let's see. Let's execute and see this. Any questions so far? Okay, so the argument here,
No, Harish.
it is considered as date. So let me set a string and try. Okay, so it returned one row, one, which means one row has been executed. Now if you go and execute the select star from teacher, it will return 6 Snetha Tam. This one, from, have we executed here manually? No, right? We have done from Java code. So now let's change the values here, and we'll insert one more record, 7, and put uh, Guru, and we put okay. So now we are inserting another teacher, Guru. So now we don't have that particular teacher here, and we didn't get the query also here. So let's execute the Java code. What is the result should be here? Because one rows will be affected. Okay. If you come and do the select query here, 7th Guru, Raja, and Binishtam. So understand, for the first instance, if you don't have the Java fundamentals background, it will be difficult to understand all these things. But you refer this video once, twice, thrice. You also create the same class. You also execute. You also, get the same output like this, inserting multiple records. Then you will feel more confident. Okay. So like this, we will also do update query, and we will also do delete query. So 2 more classes we'll create. Are you guys okay to continue for 15 more minutes?
Yes, Harish.
Yes, Harish.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
Harish.
So now we have done insert operations. Anyone, before we move to update operation, anyone have any questions in insert operation?
Harish, what is that
No.
prepared statement set int 7, comma 1? Actually, I missed due to power issue.
Yeah.
Is that
Prepare statement
7th?
int 7 is nothing but the index of 7th column. What is the 7th column name?
Okay.
Subject ID is the 7th column, and the value subject ID I kept as 1.
Oh,
So you can,
got
if you
it.
put the
Got
value
it.
2, it will insert 2 there.
Okay.
Any other questions?
No, Harish.
Will you guys able to refer the video and perform this one?
Yes, Harish.
Okay. So now
Harish,
let's see. Yeah. Go ahead.
one last one. Harish, in a glance, how can we explain what is try catch if we face any interview question?
See, try catch is like
In-
exception handling. It's altogether a different Java concept. It will take at least 1 to
Okay.
2 hours to explain in detail. But so
Uh-huh.
earlier I told you, right? So whatever the statements which will result to failure, or which you assume it might fail, you put those
Okay.
statements in a try block, catch the exception, and show a valid error to the end user.
Okay.
So that's the one. So there are checked exceptions, unchecked exceptions. and user defined exception handling classes, and custom exception handling classes, errors, and multi try catch blocks. So that's a big concept. That's why I gave you assignment to read theoretically.
Okay.
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 So
Thank you.
insert operation is done, and the next one is let's move on to update operation. Okay. So update is also a DDL command. I want a main class. So what is the first step we want to do here? So let's copy from insert. So I want to establish a connection. So I copy these two lines and go to update and paste it here. So after this, what I want to do? I want to do prepared statement, because this is update DML command. Prepare statement equal to connection dot. So I want to take the connection dot prepare statement. And what is the query here I want to follow? So I write the query here on the top. So this is the SQL query. So I'll copy paste this query here. String update query equal to. I'll paste this one here. I don't want to put the schema name because I already gave schema name here for connection. Last name, the value is fine. Teacher ID is 4. Now question for you all. So how many arguments are here in the update query? This is the update query. How many arguments are there?
1.
Next, any other answers?
1, Naresh.
Any other answers?
2.
Any other answers?
One,
One.
Harish.
Only one.
One. Okay. So there are 2 arguments here. One is set last name is. So this is also a data, right? Not only this one in where condition.
Okay.
So this is one argument, and what you want to set, this is also an argument, right? So totally 2 arguments will be there. So
Okay.
so this is how you need to set. So this is a simple update query, right? So let me execute this one again for your confidence. So because I removed a lot of this additional stuff. Update teacher set last name equal to 2, and where teacher ID is 4, and give the question mark. I'll select this update and I'll run this one. So here value should be changed. Okay, I'll select both the statements. Okay, so this value is changed. Fine, right? Now I'll remove this value and I'll put question mark, and I remove this one and I put question mark. Okay, teacher ID equal to question mark. The same thing I'm using it here. Teacher ID equal. So two arguments I need to set. Okay. So now here I want to pass the SQL statement. Where is my SQL statement now? This is the update query. So I'll pass the update query here. Okay. So okay, done. Prepare statement you have done. So let's put in try catch block. This is try. Yeah, this multi catch block, because multiple exceptions will come. There is exception class. Okay, so now what is the next step? So 2 arguments, 2 question marks you kept. You need to set these 2 question marks. So prepare statement dot prepare statement dot here set integer. So what is the thing we want to set here? Set last name is kind of string, right? So you want to set string. And what is the index here? It is the first question mark. And what is the value? You want to put normal ones here. And what is the same? I'll copy paste and I'll create second statement. What is teacher ID? What data type of teacher ID is? It is integer. So set integer. And what is the parameter here? It is second parameter. And what is the value we want to update here? So we want to update the value of teacher ID is 4. Correct? So now we have prepared the prepare statement. So what we want to do? So we want to execute this one. Prepare statement dot execute update. See, there are a lot of things. Execute update. So we need to use execute update. So you got execute update. What it will return? It will return integer. So what I will do? I'll declare a variable called integer result equal to. Now I'll print this result here. Okay. So okay, if your result is 1 or 0, you don't know whether it's inserted updated successfully or not, right? So what I will do, I will write one more method here. Okay. If result is greater than 0, then print updation is successful. Update of table record is successful. See, 0, right? 0 means no records has been updated. But for the operation, what we are doing here, it should update at least one record. Okay. Else system.out.println update of table record is failed. Okay. And anything we missed out here? Anything we missed out in insert here? We opened the connection, right? We need to close this connection. Connection.close. Similarly, here in the update operation also, here a connection has been opened here. So we need, after our operation, we need to close the connection. Okay. Let's try to execute this one and see what we are going to get. Okay. So update of table report is successful, which means now if you go and do the self query here, so this name should be properly updated as per our argument. This is our argument, right? I'll write it to you. And if you see, this is our argument here. Any questions here?
No, Harish.
Do you want me to repeat this again, or are you clear? See, a state of your mind before 10 minutes, right? So when I was explaining about insert operations and multiple prepared statements, all of a sudden you might think, what this guy is teaching French or German. But now for the second operation update, only 2 prepared statements are there. And you know why these prepared statements, how many arguments are there, how many we need to create. So you understand a bit more. Suppose if I write for 10 to 15 operations like this, by 10th or 15th operation, you will completely understand this. Just if you listen the class. But if you do by yourself, the insert statement, all this one by yourself, and update by yourself, delete by yourself, you will understand 100% perfectly only after you complete your assignment. Okay. So do you want me to do delete operation also, or can you take that as assignment? So, okay, let me show what is the delete query there. Okay. So I want to delete the last added teacher here. This is the guru teacher I want to delete. So I'll put minus and I'll take the delete query here. So delete teacher where teacher ID equal to 7. This is the query. Okay. So this is submit query. So this is delete query. See how many arguments are here?
One.
Any other questions? So any other answers?
Yeah, one. One.
Yeah, it has only one. So you are passing the value 7. Which row you want to delete? So what you will do, instead of update query, you will write this one. You will replace that one with this query, and same prepare statement will be there. So you will just create. You will remove this row. You will update. Teacher ID is kind of integer, right? So set integer and 1, and what is the value? The teacher ID of guru. What is the teacher ID? 7, and you will execute. Rest all remains same. Can you guys do that, or do you want me to do that? Okay, 5 more minutes.
We'll do it.
Okay, cool. Anyways, I'll do it now, but you can take it as reference if you're stuck. Okay, so delete operation. First thing what we need to do, copy the 4. So we want to copy this 2 and put it here. So the database connection is done. Okay. So now we need to write a SQL query. One second. Let me put this in try catch now itself. Okay. So the database connection is done. So what operation we want to do? Delete operation. So let's write a query for that. String delete equal to double quotes. So let me copy the delete query I have here. I'll paste it here. Okay. So one argument. So this is the delete query. So for DML commands, we use prepare statement. So prepare statement interface P equal to new equal to connection dot prepare statement. And what is the SQL query you need to pass? On the top you already created. Delete and put semicolon. Now P dot set integer, right? The type of teacher ID is kind of integer. Only one parameter we have, and the guru ID is number 7. Done. So your statement is done. So now you want to execute this one. So if you want to execute p dot execute I guess it is execute for delete, I guess. Returns a boolean indicate from the first result. You will either get result or get update count result. Returns true. If the first result is result set object, that's in okay. So for delete, I guess it is execute delete is there. No, execute batch. Let me check execute query. Set that options. Okay. Update. execute update only. So what it will return? It will return integer. So int value I'll store in a variable. So I want a proper message if it's executed or not. So if value, then I'll print delete successful. Otherwise, I'll say delete operation failure. If value is greater than 0. Okay, so then at the last, what I need to do, I've opened the connection, right? I have done my operations. I need to close the connection. So connection dot close. Are you guys clear?
Yes, Harish.
Let's execute this delete statement. Before that, I will show you in MySQL Workbench. So 7 rows are there now. The last row is Guru one, which we are going to delete it now. And click on run. Delete is successful. So if you go and do the query, SQL select query, you will have only 6 records. Okay. Any questions? So we have created select, update, insert, delete.
Harish, if we keep just p.execute without update.
Without p.execute, so that's what p.execute value. This method will return boolean. So you need to take into boolean. It will say either true or false. So for example, let me do for one more one. If value okay is true, then it is daily successful. We will use some different ID here. So we will use 6, which means Snehita to be deleted. Okay. So let's execute this one. Delete operation failed. Why? Let's see if deleted here. It's deleted, but yeah, if value
equal to true.
if value equal to
True
or true. Okay. Let me remove record 4. Who is record 4? Preeti. Execute.
Not true. This is set to false now. That is why.
Okay. Do one thing. So first, what you need to do by default, set the value of the boolean value to false. Boolean value to false. Okay. Before executing this one, now you try that. Okay. So do you understand? So p.execute will return whether the operation is successful or failure. If it is successful, it will return true. If it is failure, should return false. Default value is already set to false. No, it won't set to false. So what we'll do? So let's see whether Preeti has also been removed. Now let's try for Ambika. Not equal to true. Okay, let's see. Let's print the value. Oh, it is coming as false.
False. That's what I'm telling. Default value of Boolean is always false in Java.
So execute to the SQL statements returns true if the first result set object, false if the first result is okay. It's update count. See, we are doing update count, right? We are not inserting anything. So for example, for insert, if you use that method, execute method, then it will give the result set as true. But if the first result set is an update count, we want to get the count of the update, so it is returning as false, which is correct. Which, see, we are getting this operation, right? So execute is working. If you see this set query now, only one record is there. Okay, you can use anything, execute or execute update. But see, earlier in insert operation, execute update will return integer, so we have taken integer. But here execute will return boolean, so we are taking boolean. So that's the difference.
When you say count, that one row affected, that count you're saying, right?
Yeah, that's the count.
Yeah.
Okay, let's insert some records. All those have become empty, so so 2, 3. And okay, so let's see the select query. Okay, we got these values. So see, the aim of this class, end of this class, everyone are familiar, right? To from the Java code, now we are insert many records. We deleted many records. We updated many records. Are you guys clear with this? Or we are able to print the multiple records and see what results it is here? Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, what we will do? So now we have written in different classes each operation, right? Tomorrow in single class, how to write these operations in multiple methods, we will see that. Okay. Okay, I just want to pause class here and we'll resume from tomorrow. I'll stop